The delivery man made just one phone call and caused the bank to go bankrupt on the spot. Only then did the manager realize that the man she had looked down on was actually the richest man in the world. It turned out the billionaire had chosen to experience life by hiding his identity and delivering takeout. That day, he came to the bank in his delivery uniform to withdraw money and happened to recognize his former college classmate, who was now the manager of this bank. He greeted the manager excitedly, but when she saw he was just a delivery man, she warned him not to act overly familiar with her during work hours. Then the man proceeded to handle his banking business. When the manager found out he was there to withdraw money, she instantly began mocking him, saying they only handled transactions for people worth tens of millions. She said a delivery man like him couldn't possibly have money in this bank. She said this as she tried to kick him out, stating flatly that this was not a place for someone like him. Hearing this, the man questioned her words. Still unaware of his real identity, the manager kept explaining, saying this wasn't just any ordinary bank. They only served people from high society. But what she didn't know was that the man in front of her was actually a billionaire worth trillions. No matter how the man tried to explain, all he got in return were cold laughs from the manager and her staff. They insisted this was not a place for him, but the man didn't want to waste words with them. He asked directly if he could withdraw the money or not. Hearing this, the manager decided to give him one chance and asked how much money he had in his account. The next second, the man blurted out $30 million, but all he got in return was mocking laughter. They said he didn't look like someone who had that kind of money. They thought he was insane and came here just to stir up trouble. They said this as they tried to throw him out. Seeing that the manager still refused to let him withdraw, the man advised her not to regret it later. But the manager arrogantly said that there was a huge gap in status between them, and he wasn't even qualified to make her feel regret. Those words instantly angered the man. He hadn't expected the bank staff to be so disrespectful. Just as he was about to lose his temper, an intern ran over saying that if the man didn't mind, he could help him with his withdrawal. But unexpectedly, the intern's kind gesture was met with scolding from the manager. She believed the intern serving this pauper was damaging the bank's image. She immediately wanted to fire the intern. Just as she finished speaking, a CEO entered the bank. When the manager saw this important client, her attitude changed completely. She flattered the CEO excessively. The CEO, too, was generous, planning to conduct a $50 million transaction with her right away. The manager happily handled the transaction for the CEO and even said he was a VIP at the bank who conducted over $1 billion worth of transactions every year. He had priority service privileges. Hearing this, the intern was about to give up, but was stopped by the man. He said, "What's so special about being a VIP?" He refused to back down, curious what the manager could do about it. Seeing that the man wouldn't give in, she threatened that the CEO might blacklist him across the industry, but the man knew the CEO didn't have that kind of power. Seeing the man so disrespectful, the CEO stepped forward to confront him, mocking him for being a delivery guy who couldn't earn even a tenth of what he made in a lifetime. He said, "Can't help it, money makes me everyone's daddy." Then he told the man to leave immediately, saying he didn't want to dirty his sight. But just as he said that, the man slapped him across the face. That completely enraged the CEO. He couldn't believe he'd been hit by a delivery guy. He instantly threatened that the man was finished. Even the manager urged the man to kneel and apologize to the CEO, saying it might reduce the consequences. But the CEO had no intention of letting him off easily. He wanted both an apology and compensation, and said he'd send him to jail, but both of them had underestimated the man's power. He gave them 30 seconds to apologize to him or he'd shut the bank down. The manager immediately thought he was crazy and ordered security to throw him out, but the CEO was curious to see how far the man would go. When the time was up, the man picked up his phone and called his assistant, instructing them to notify all company heads under his name to immediately withdraw all funds from this bank. As soon as the call ended, the manager couldn't wait to mock the man, calling him a vain fraud who made up such a ridiculous lie for his pride. She didn't want to talk to him any further and ordered the security to detain him. Just then, the manager's phone rang unexpectedly. Before she could react, companies started withdrawing their deposits one after another. Only then did the manager realize the bank was doomed. These companies held at least $2 trillion in deposits combined. The bank simply couldn't cover that amount. Seeing this, the man asked the manager, "Do you like the gift I gave you?" But the manager refused to believe this was the man's doing. She immediately reported the incident to the bank president. When the president heard the news, she was shocked. She asked the manager what on earth had happened. When she learned the manager didn't know either, she ordered her to resolve the matter immediately. Meanwhile, the president called the man's assistant to ask why their partnership had suddenly ended. When she found out that her staff had offended the assistant's boss, she realized they had made a huge mistake. Upon learning the man was still in the bank, she decided to handle the matter personally. Back in the lobby, the returning manager tried to kick the man out when she saw he hadn't left yet, but the man hadn't gotten his money yet. Why would he leave? He then pulled out his bank card. Everyone was stunned at what they saw. How could a delivery guy have a supreme black card with a $100 million overdraft limit? So the manager guessed the card was fake, thinking he came to scam the bank. The thought enraged her. She never expected someone to dare scam her like this. She ordered security to detain him, but just then, the bank president appeared. The manager quickly explained everything that had happened. She even asked the president to call the police and have the man arrested. But before she could finish her words, the president's next move left her completely stunned.